All right, the fallout continues over new examples of political bias, one after another, coming from the Department of Justice, the FBI, and from Robert Mueller's merry band of Democratic donors. Now, Fox News has obtained some of the text messages between that FBI agent, you know, the one that's involved in everything, Peter Strzok, and his FBI lawyer girlfriend, Lisa Page. They are full of all kinds of examples of Trump bashing. We're going to show you the actual messages in detail in a minute. But first, as you can imagine, the massive conflicts of interest, the political prejudice now being exposed in America's justice system has Republican lawmakers finally waking up and demanding answers. GOP congressmen, they wasted little time today in questioning the Deputy Attorney General, the guy that appointed Mueller, Rod Rosenstein, on Capitol Hill earlier today. This is a classic, epic. Take a look.
We are now beginning to better understand the magnitude of this insider bias on Mr. Mueller's team. First, we have FBI agent Peter Strzok and FBI lawyer Lisa Page exchanging communications showing extreme bias against President Trump.
What happens when people who are supposed to cure the conflict of interest have even greater conflicts of interest than those they replace? That's not a rhetorical question. You nor I nor anyone else would ever sit Peter Strzok on a jury. We wouldn't have him objectively, dispassionately investigate anything, knowing what we know now. Why didn't we know it ahead of time?
My question to you is, how with a straight face can you say that this group of Democrat partisans are unbiased and will give President Trump a fair shake?
This is unbelievable. And I'm here to tell you, Mr. Rosenstein, I think the public trust in this whole thing is gone. So it seems to me you got two things you can do. You're the guy in charge. You're the guy who picked Mueller. You're the guy who wrote the memo saying why he needed to fire Comey. You're the guy in charge. You could disband the Mueller special prosecutor, and you can do what we've all called for. Appoint a second special counsel to look into this, to look into Peter Strzok, Bruce Ohr, everything else we've learned in the last several weeks.
All this sound familiar? It should. You've heard it here first. We've been doing this now for months. Now, despite today's grilling, Rosenstein, he remains defiant and actually defending Mueller and his team of Clinton lovers and Trump haters. Pretty unbelievable. Watch this.
I think it's important to recognize that when we talk about political affiliation, that all demonstrates political affiliation. The issue of bias is something different. I've discussed this with Director Mueller, and he and I collectively have a lot of experience managing offices in the Department of Justice. We recognize we have employees with political opinions, and it's our responsibility to make sure those opinions do not influence their actions. Pardon me. And so I believe that Director Mueller understands that, and that he is running that office appropriately, recognizing that people have political views, but ensuring that those views are not in any way a factor in how they conduct themselves. I don't know exactly what the president meant by that, Congressman. The special counsel's investigation is not a witch hunt.
There's one problem. There's only one opinion. It's pro-Hillary, anti-Trump. There's a mountain of evidence now showing this bias among Mueller's investigators, yet Rosenstein pretending like he's the only person in America that doesn't see it. See no evil, hear no evil. What's happening? This is a direct threat to the rule of law in this country. Rosenstein is aiding and abetting that threat. Now, if he had any sort of moral compass, he would shut down Mueller's corrupt witch hunt immediately. Why he doesn't see it is beyond anything I could ever think about. Now, as for Mueller's team of corrupt and biased Democratic donors, here's a quick overview of what we know about them. They have given piles of cash, over 50 grand in total, to Democrats, including Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton. By the way, only one of them donated to a Republican. None of them gave any money to Donald Trump, and that's just the start of it. One of Mueller's top investigators, Jeannie Ray, she worked closely with Eric Holder, remember him, and represented the Clinton Foundation during the 2015 racketeering case. If I wrote a novel or a movie, you wouldn't believe it. And then there's Mueller's top prosecutor. Yep, there's his guy, Andrew Weissmann. He oversaw that highly controversial obstruction of justice case. Remember Arthur Andersen, the accounting firm, Enron? It destroyed the company. They were put out of business. Tens of thousands of people lost their jobs. 2005, the Supreme Court overturned Weissmann's conviction 9-0. a unanimous ruling. And as part of the Enron investigation, Weissman also sent 4 Merrill Lynch executives to jail. Big problem. That conviction was also overturned by the 5th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals. And Weissman, well, he's been accused of doing just about anything to secure a conviction. Let's see, withholding exculpatory evidence and intimidating witnesses, just among the few charges. And last week, Judicial Watch released an email where Weissman told the former acting Attorney General, Sally Yates, how proud he was of her after Yates defied a direct order from her boss, the President of the United States, and refused to defend the travel ban. Wall Street Journal is reporting that Weissman attended Hillary Clinton's election night party. Wow. Now, finally, there's the Trump-hating, Clinton-loving FBI agent Peter Strzok. He's involved in everything. Now, Fox News has obtained exclusively the anti-Trump, pro-Clinton text messages between Strzok and his girlfriend, Lisa Page, also someone that worked for Mueller. Before we show you the text messages, here's the backstory. Now, this guy Strzok used to be a top counterintelligence official before being demoted and actually signed the document that started the entire Russia-Trump so-called investigation. Strzok's team was assigned to handle the anti-Trump dossier when it was first given to the FBI. Now, get this. He also oversaw the interview of former National Security Advisor Lieutenant General Michael Flynn, and he played a major role in the Clinton email investigation, sat in on Hillary's FBI interview, was also at the interviews of Clinton's top aides, Huma Abedin, Cheryl Mills, and this is the most egregious piece of information we have about Strzok. He's the guy. He's the one that changed. Remember the exoneration before investigation, James Comey? Well, it was James Comey and Peter Strzok. He changed the terminology from grossly negligent to extreme carelessness, which took and let Hillary off the hook in that particular case. Now, think about it. The fix was in, and Strzok is at the center of just about everything. This is the backstory, and that's why these text messages are so disturbing. Let's start. Let's look at this exchange. The date, March 4th, 2016. Page, the girlfriend, writes, God, Trump is a loathsome human. Strzok responds, yet he may win, and good for Hillary. And Page says it is. And then Strzok asks, would he be a worse president than Cruz? Page follows up, Trump? Yeah, I think so. And then Strzok replies, oh, I'm not sure. And then adds, oh, my God, he's an idiot. Page adds, he's awful. Strzok then says, America will get what the voting public deserves. That's you. And Page finishes with, that's what I'm afraid of. Later the same day, Strzok writes, God, Hillary should win 100 million to 0. Page says, I know. Well, that conversation continues when Page says, what? Poor Kasich. He's the only sensible man up there. Strzok follows up with, he was pretty much calling for the death of Snowden. I'm a single-issue voter, espionage machine party. And then Strzok adds, exactly regarding Kasich, and he has zero appeal. Then in June, Strzok writes, they fully deserve to go and demonstrate the absolute bigoted nonsense of Donald Trump. And he adds, truly. Later that month, Page texts, really, really like Joe Biden. Strzok responds by saying, opened on Trump? If Hillary did, 5 field offices would. Wow, rule of law. In July, Page texts, and wow, Donald Trump is an enormous, expletive. I can say it, but children may be watching. And in August, Page writes, Jesus, you should read this, and Trump should go bleep himself. And Strzok responds, God, that's a great article. Thanks for sharing, and bleep Trump. Now, Strzok even bashed Trump supporters, writing, quote, just went to a Southern Virginia Walmart. I could smell the Trump support. And Page, his girlfriend, replies, out to lunch with, redacted, and we both hate everyone and everything. And then she adds, just riffing on the hot mess that is our country. Strzok ends by saying, yeah, it's scary, really down here. Now, in October, Strzok sends this message, I am riled up. Trump is a bleeping idiot, is unable to provide a coherent answer. Strzok later texts, I can't pull away. What the blank happened to our country? And this particular message, pay close attention to. It's getting attention from other people as well. It's raising all kinds of important questions that we need answers to. Now, in August of 2016, Strzok texted, I want to believe the path you threw out for consideration in Andy's office, that there's no way he gets elected, meaning Trump. but I'm afraid we can't take that risk. It's like an insurance policy in the unlikely event you die before you're 40. Now, Fox News, we haven't confirmed that Andy, well, that text would be Deputy FBI Director Andrew McCabe. And remember, McCabe's wife took $700 grand in donations from Democrats during a 2015 Virginia State Senate run. By the way, Terry McAuliffe up to his eyeballs there. There's also this text exchange. We edited out the middle part, which was a web link. Page writes, and maybe you meant to stay where you are because you're meant to protect the country from that menace. And Strzok says, thanks. It's absolutely true that we're both very fortunate. And of course, I'll try and approach it that way. I just know it will be tough at times. I can protect our country at many levels. Not sure if that helps. What is the insurance policy? And why is Andy, who we think is Andrew McCabe, the deputy FBI director, why is he involved in this? Interestingly, the Wall Street Journal reporting that the meeting with McCabe took place just as the FBI launched its counterintelligence probe into possible Trump-Russia connections. You can't write a novel like this. Now, the Journal also notes that July is when Christopher Steele briefed the FBI about the fake news dossier. And here's another huge question. How were these text messages discovered? And after reading all those messages, how can Rod Rosenstein honestly go before Congress today and conclude that special counsel is fair and unbiased? And then there's this new information, Fusion GPS. They have confirmed that Nellie Ohr, the wife of the recently demoted DOJ official Bruce Ohr, did in fact work for Fusion GPS. And Fusion GPS also confirmed that Nellie Ohr worked on Trump opposition research. And we found out last week that Bruce Ohr met with the former British spy that paid for the Russian lies to influence the election, that Steele is the person who put together the fake news anti-Trump Russian dossier with phony information. Well, we know Bruce Ohr also met with Glenn Simpson. He's the co-founder of Fusion GPS after the election. And guess what? Ohr's office was only 4 doors down from Rosenstein's. Wow. Everything that we've just explained shows that there are inexcusable conflicts of interest, that there are clear abusive biases at the DOJ and the FBI and Robert Mueller's team. Now, to be clear, this has nothing to do with rank and file, hardworking law enforcement agents. This is about the select few people at the top that think that they're above the law, that think that they know better than you. So we have to ask tonight, what in God's name is Robert Mueller doing? It's one giant, huge, massive web of corruption, and it's all aimed at taking down a duly elected president of the United States. What he is doing is immoral, it is unethical, and probably at some point we're going to find real illegal activity.